You know how in some stories, the smallest, most simple gestures can end up meaning, well, everything? A fleeting touch, a quiet look, it can carry the weight of an entire culture, a whole history, without a single word being spoken. And today we're diving deep into one of those stories.
So yeah, that's the big question, right? How can something as simple as braiding a lock of hair become this huge, profound declaration of trust and vulnerability? We're going to unravel it all. And believe it or not, this whole thing kicks off with a complete and total accident.
So our story doesn't start with some big dramatic event. Nope. It begins with a quiet, accidental touch that honestly is about to change absolutely everything. Okay, so picture this. We've got Alex in a courtyard, and he's getting a lesson from Jaru on how to use a training staff. It's all pretty standard stuff, focusing on his form, his balance, nothing out of the ordinary. Jaru steps in close behind Alex, trying to correct his grip. He's got that focused energy, right? And he's guiding Alex's hands, adjusting his stance, and in that moment, the space between them just vanishes. They're that close.
And as Jaru shifts, his long, dark hair sweeps forward, and Alex kind of flinches back, startled. As he does, his hand just brushes against a lock of Jaru's hair. It's just for a second, a really quick, silky, warm touch. That's it.
And bam, everything just freezes. Jaru goes completely rigid. The whole vibe in the courtyard just shifts from this casual training session to something super heavy and intense. And Alex, he knows instantly that he just crossed the line he never even knew was there.
After this really tense silence, Jaru just murmurs, "You touched my hair." And it's not an accusation, it's just a statement. But the way he says it, it's filled with this weird, almost holy kind of shock. You can feel the weight behind those four little words.
So when Alex asks if it's a bad thing if he messed up, Jar's answer just makes the whole thing even more mysterious. Significant. That one word just hangs in the air, leaving Alex, and honestly us too, wondering what invisible rule just got broken. Or maybe what rule just got fulfilled.
Okay, so that accidental touch, it sparks this curiosity in Alex. And since he's still completely in the dark about the cultural gravity of it all, he decides to make a request. A request that is going to change their dynamic forever.
Oh man, you can just feel the awkward innocence here, can't you? He's all shy and fidgety, and he has absolutely no clue what he's actually asking for. For him, it's just, hey, that was really beautiful. Can I do that? But for Jaru, it is something else entirely.
And Jaru's response is, wow. It's so quiet, but it's loaded with meaning. He doesn't just say yes. He offers up the exact same section of hair, right by his temple, the most personal spot, and says, this section is yours. This isn't just permission, you guys. This is an offering.
And this is where you really see the massive gap in their understanding of what's happening. While Alex is just concentrating on making a neat little braid, Jaru is having this huge physical reaction. His breath literally hitches. It's not from pain, it's from the sheer emotional weight of the act. So the big question is, why?
All right, let's hit pause on the story for a second. To really get what's happening, we need to dive into the cultural context. It's time to decode the sacred language of the Flame Heirs. And this one fact changes everything. For the Flame Heirs, hair has nothing to do with vanity. It's their identity. It's a physical, tangible representation of their inner flame, their very spirit. Think of it like a part of their soul that's visible to the world.
And yeah, there are rules, big ones. You never cut your hair, because your power, your flame, is meant to grow unbroken. Just touching it is a deeply intimate act. Braiding it, that's a profound gesture of bonding. And that braid by the temple, the exact one Alex made, that's reserved for family, for the people you trust with your whole heart.
So when you lay it all out like this, the misunderstanding is just immense, isn't it? What Alex thought was an awkward accident was, in their culture, a major act of trust. What he saw as a nice, friendly gesture was actually creating a spiritual bond. And the spot he picked, because it was convenient, yeah, that was the spot for the deepest level of personal trust. It's just, wow.
So once Alex finds all this out, he is, understandably, freaking out. He thinks he's committed this massive cultural crime, right? So he rushes to find Jaru, totally desperate to fix what he's done.
I mean, you can just hear the sheer panic in his voice. He's stumbling over his words, just trying to undo this incredibly deep, symbolic thing that he did out of complete ignorance. He is spiraling.
And then, we get the line that changes absolutely everything. Just as Alex is about to undo the braid, Jarsu stops him cold with this quiet, powerful confession. This wasn't a mistake. It wasn't a misunderstanding on his part. He let it happen. He chose it.
And here's why. Jaru explains that Alex is different. He sees Jaru's power, his flame, and he isn't afraid of it. He doesn't judge it. Alex's touch, his request to braid, it was all done with a kind of gentle trust, even if he didn't know the rules. And Jaru recognized that. He trusted him back. So the bond wasn't an accident. It was a recognition.
Okay, so now that the air is finally cleared, their whole dynamic begins to shift. What started as an accident is now becoming this conscious, intentional thing. They're actually building on that connection.
Jaru then makes another offer. He calls it the whisper braid, a lock of hair meant for secrets and promises. And this time, Alex accepts, with the full knowledge of what it means. You can imagine his hands are probably trembling. And then Jaru gives him this ultimate promise. You can braid my hair whenever you wish. It's just total open trust.
And it all leads to this one incredible moment. After training, Jaru's hair is all tangled, and he just turns his back to Alex and wordlessly hands him a comb. It is a complete 180 from where the story started. No accidents, no confusion, just a quiet, powerful request born out of absolute trust and vulnerability.
And as Alex is gently brushing his hair, Jaru whispers, "Your hands calm my flame." And that just says it all, doesn't it? The story that began with a startling touch that rattled his flame now ends with the beautiful realization that those very same hands have the power to soothe it. From a simple, accidental touch to a language all their own, it just goes to show you that sometimes the deepest connections aren't built on big speeches, but on quiet, sacred trust.